Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty by President Luiz Lula da Silva of Brazil. The National Assembly received Tinubu's letter seeking approval to borrow 1.767 trillion naira as part of the 2024 Appropriation Act. On foreign scene, Ukraine fires U.S.-supplied long-range missiles into Russia a day after Washington gave its permission for such attacks. Details of these and more will come to you shortly. Do stay with us. And now the news in full. President Bola Tinubu has hailed the creation of the Global Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty championed by President Luiz Lula da Silva of Brazil. Tinubu described the alliance as pivotal in the global fight against hunger and poverty. He made the statement at the 19th G20 Leaders Summit opening session in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. He lauded the initiative and described it as the right step to address one of the world's most significant challenges. President Tinubu compared the global initiative to one of the 8 priority areas he outlined at his inauguration 18 months ago, expressing Nigeria's eagerness to adopt international best practices to advance its economic development. According to President Tinubu, Nigeria's endorsement of the Declaration of Commitment to join the Global Alliance is a significant step in its efforts to address hunger and poverty by leveraging international cooperation and resources to bolster domestic strategies. He added that by supporting the initiative, Nigeria also demonstrates a solid commitment to realizing the Sustainable Development Goals, particularly SDG 1, which focuses on eradicating poverty, and SDG 2, which aims to achieve zero hunger.
In Africa, we have terrorism challenges, insecurity challenges that are preventing farmers to even go to their farm. We have problem in Sudan, displacing people. We have problem of climate change, flooding, destroying crops. And we have problem of protectionism.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has written to the National Assembly seeking approval to borrow 1.767 trillion naira as part of the 2024 Appropriation Act to address the budget deficit. The letter, read by Speaker of the House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas during Tuesday's plenary session, revealed that the 2024 budget has a 9.7 trillion naira deficit. The proposed loan is aimed at reducing this figure to 8 trillion naira.
I write to request for a resolution of the National Assembly to raise the sum of 1,767,610,321,779 naira, equivalent of 2,209,512,902 at the budget exchange rate of USD 1 to 800 naira.
Now we have Dr. Ogunshola Akintunde, an economic expert who is joining us to have a discussion on this topic. Thank you so much for joining us at this time.
All right, thank you very much. It's my pleasure to
Yes, so what's your reaction on Tinubu writing to the House of Representatives for consent to borrow over 1.8 trillion naira to fund 2024 budget deficit?
Yeah, my reaction is just that it's a budget that has been, approved from when the budget was approved, from the beginning of the year. The 2024 budget has a budget deficit of more than about 6 trillion. So now, it is now that the president wants to do the borrowing that National Assembly has approved when they were actually approving the budget. So this money is going to be used to finance the capital portion of the 2024 budget. Remember that the 2024 budget is not going to close, especially the capital side, is not closing at December. Rather, it will overlap into 2025, even up to May. So that money will be used for capital projects for 2024 budget.
In the budget other than borrowing? Is there a better option? Go ahead.
Of course, when budgets are passed, we already have a financial plan, and we have already planned to borrow, because when they say we are going to be having a budget deficit, they're already saying, where are you going to get the deficit from? It's going to come from borrowings, and National Assembly approved the budget. The same thing is about to happen again. 2025 budget is going to have the highest deficit ever, 13 trillion. And this deficit will obviously be financed from borrowings. So, except if government is going to cut down some of their plans and programs, so that the plans and programs will be within the limit, within the confines of the amount of revenue that we can generate. But if the government plans and programs is far above the revenue that they can generate, obviously, they have already planned to borrow. So, government has planned to borrow, and National Assembly approved it. If government can reduce their programs and plans, we might not borrow again. Our revenue will be enough. So that's where the problem is actually coming from.
All right, so finally, what would be your advice to the federal government on budget funding going forward?
Yes, my advice for government on budget funding will be that government can spread projects within the term of 4 years. They must not complete the project within one fiscal year budget. Instead of us borrowing so much to complete a project within 1 year, they can spread the project within 3 years. Let's say if they don't want to take it to 4 years. So if they can spread it to 3 years, at least the money that they will use to finance that project over 3 years might not lead us to borrowing. But if they want to complete a road within 1 year budget, then that will lead us to borrowing and borrowing and borrowing again.
All right, thank you so much for being part of the news at this time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
All right, that was Dr. Ogunshola Akintunde, an economic expert. And now we carry on the rest of the stories. The leader of the Northern Regional Caucus in the House of Representatives, Honorable Alhassan Ado Doguwa, has assured that Northern lawmakers will prioritize national interests in the consideration of the 4 tax reform bills. Speaking at a tax reform interaction organized by the House of Representatives in Abuja, Doguwa emphasized that the bills will be carefully studied to ensure fairness and alignment with Nigeria's economic realities. He said the bills aim at addressing fiscal federalism and resource sharing among federating units and institutions, adding that lawmakers would not rush the process to avoid enacting ineffective laws. Doguwa highlighted national interest as the guiding principle, acknowledging the government's intentions while stressing the need to educate and enlighten the public.
Through things that have to do with the lives and livelihood of the people, the most important thing for us as members representing our people is to get to know what's about it. What is it? What's up? And this is what we are doing. So I would like to say, without mincing words, that the initiative of the leaders to engage members, to broaden up our understanding in the perspective of what are the content and the context of the law is all about, I think is a very good one. And if there is anything we members can now say at the moment is that it should be work in progress.
He commended the House leadership for organizing the interactive session, noting it enhanced members' understanding of the bills. The Ogua called for continued consultations at state and regional levels to build awareness among lawmakers and stakeholders.
I don't want to look at it as a northern or southern affair. This is something that has to do with fiscal federalism. Take it or not. Fiscal federalism has a lot of implications, and fiscal federalism has a lot of fears and concern in a federal system of government like the one we are running in the country. But thank God, like I said, with the little engagement we have started getting from the sponsors of the bill, especially those who are now giving us this kind of lectures, I'm sure members are getting clearer picture.
So I believe the policy is in the interest of the country, and I so much believe that at the end of the day, people will understand why we are here and then why we are doing all this thing. So I so much believe that we'll learn a lot, we will be more enlightened, and then even the public will understand even the nitty-gritty of the bill. So by so doing, I think the further consultation will be taking place at all levels, both at the level of from the other stakeholders, the National Assembly, the Executive, and so many other things will come to play, by God's grace.
You're still on to Galaxy News. We'll quickly take a break, and when we return, the news continues. To stay with us. We're glad to have you back. Now, for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect to us on our X handle with Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GalaxyTVNews. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GalaxyTV. Remember to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live update and comment, as you can easily scan our IG QR code. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has alerted the public on the activities of fraudsters purporting to be in receipt of award letters of contracts related to construction works and special financial interventions on behalf of the Apex Bank. The Apex Bank, in a statement issued in Abuja by Hakama Ali, described the claim as false, adding that these individuals are solely motivated by the desire to defraud unsuspecting Nigerians. It added that any such assertion are fraudulent and should be disregarded. The bank reiterated that, in line with the focus of its current management, it has discontinued direct development interventions and special project funding. According to Ali, the CBN has not authorized public notices for such interventions on social media platforms or any other news outlet. The CBN said it remains committed to its core mandate of ensuring monetary and price stability and a sound and efficient financial system in Nigeria. It therefore encouraged the public to remain vigilant and promptly report any suspicious activities or publications to the relevant law enforcement agencies. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has said that the Nigerian police is enhancing the security of lives and property across the country. The IGP made this known in Asaba, the Delta State capital, during the commissioning of 31 operational vehicles received from the Delta State government. The IGP, who is on a working visit to Delta State, received the vehicles at the State Government House in Asaba. Speaking at the brief ceremony with sister agencies and government officials in attendance, the Inspector General of Police stressed on the effort of the police in tackling crime. Responding, the host and Delta State Governor Sheriff Wolveri said the rebranding of the state security outfit christened Operation Delta Sweep is to intensify the fight against criminal elements in the state.
Then with regards to what we are doing to enhance security all over the state, we are not concentrating in a particular area or state. We are focusing on the whole country. We have in place our tactical units deployed all over, responding to distress situations in all the states of the Federation. We are not only deploying them, we are training them.
The rebranding of the task force as Operation Delta Sweep is to reflect the zeal and determination of this administration to reduce crime and crime-related activities to the barest minimum in the state. We want to sweep the state clean of criminal elements and dissidents.
As part of efforts to sustain the fight against crude oil theft and all forms of illegality in the Niger Delta region, the chairman and chief executive officer of the federal government's contracted security outfit, Tantita, High Chief Government Epipolo alias Tompolo, said the step on lots of tolls in achieving the 1.8 million barrels per day oil production. He made a disclosure in Opuruza, headquarters of Baramatu Kingdom, when he received the NBA president and his team. Our correspondent, Dele Fason, completes the story.
The NBA president, Mazi Afam Osigwe, SAN, who led members of his executive council to the coastal community of Baramatu, visited the traditional ruler, His Royal Majesty Oborok Barrow II, where he met with Tantito chairman and other stakeholders. Speaking on the challenges in protecting oil facilities, the Tantito chief executive officer called on the NBA leadership and stakeholders to support the genuine fight against oil theft.
Stepping on a lot of toes, which are the big boys over there in Lagos and Abuja, because most of the times you will see that Tantita security will not have this confrontation with Nigerian Navy and all that. Every well-meaning Nigeria know the function of Nigerian Navy and Tantita now, but nobody wants to come out to face the truth. If we happen to arrest anybody today, you will either employ a lawyer from Lagos, senior advocate from Ibadan or Abuja, who can be able to do your case very well. But now that you are here, from what the GMB said, the production has increased to 1.8.
On their part, the NBA president commended Tantita for the increase in daily oil production, and the Tantita chairman appealed for collaboration in this time of economic hardship.
After our next meeting, we were glad to read the announcement by the NNPCL, the GMD CEO, that oil production has, for the first time in many years, risen to 1.8 million barrels per day, with the prospects of rising to about 2 million barrels per day by December. And we thought that this was very important because in the last few years, Nigeria has been borrowing to fund its budget. Nigeria has been borrowing to pay salaries and execute many projects. And our understanding of economics, which we are not experts in, even though we are learned men and women, is that if the country earns more from oil, which we produce, we will be able to borrow less, and the government will be able to do some of the developmental activities and put infrastructures in place expected of government.
Let you know today that the presence of the government is a bit physical far from us. All this we are saying is it Commonwealth? No. Effort. Our elites, our big boys, all you are seeing here is their own effort, you are saying. We produce the oil from our territory. They feed the coffers of this country.
We want to employ and beg that you have a duty to play in this present condition now, because if we are not careful in this country, maybe they will not have even money to pay teachers or to do any reasonable thing. I know, or all of us here know, that Nigeria is facing hardship. For people to even survive, a bag of rice is now 100 and something thousand. But we are going to do our part locally, but you are there at the top.
The increase in Nigeria's oil production will no doubt help in boosting the per capita income of the country as it works towards achieving 2 million barrels per day. From Baramatu Kingdom, Daily Fast reporting for Galactic TV News.
And I'll move over to the foreign desk for more news.
This is news from the international scene. Russia says Ukraine has fired US-supplied long-range missiles into the country a day after Washington gave its permission for such attacks. Ukraine used the Army Tactical Missile System ATACMS in a strike on Russia's Bryansk region this morning, the Ministry of Defense in Moscow said. 5 missiles were shot down and 1 damaged, with these fragments causing a fire at the military facility in the region, it said in a statement. The strike represents the first time the long-range missile have been used on Russia's internationally recognized territory and comes shortly after Washington signaled Ukraine had permission to fire the ATACMS into Russia. On Monday, Moscow said any such attack would prompt an appropriate and tangible response. A fire caused by falling debris from one of the missiles was quickly extinguished and there were no casualties, it said. Ukraine's military earlier confirmed that it had struck an ammunition warehouse in the Russian region of Bryansk, but it did not specify whether ATACMS were used. It said the attack on a depot around 100 kilometers from the border near the town of Karashev caused 12 secondary explosions. Meanwhile, earlier on Tuesday, Putin approved changes to Russia's nuclear doctrine, setting out new conditions under which the country would consider using its arsenal. It now says an attack from a non-nuclear state, if backed by nuclear power, will be treated as a joint assault on Russia.
And that's all we have on Galaxy News. Thank you so much for being a part of the news. My name is Nenwar Gimazaka. Goodbye.